Welcome to Handmade by Hallie. Here's my next video. It's time to make some Christmas. So here's the items we need for this project. We need this sign that says I'll be gnome for Christmas. And we have some coordinating ribbons, some red, some green, some red and green, and some candy. We have some faux candies and some Christmas tree picks. And we're going to put this all on an evergreen base. So the first thing we're going to do is fluff our base, and this one has some plastic pieces, and I decided to cut those ones out. This base is from Hobby Lobby, and it's a pretty decent base. It has a variety of different evergreen pieces. I just particularly don't like the plastic ones. So luckily there's only a few of those, and of course you take off the tags because you don't want to leave the tags on your products. Just keep fluffing all the way around. Make sure you're getting evergreen into the center and the outside. This just takes a few minutes, but it's kind of a necessary step, kind of like fluffing your Christmas tree. We don't want to use it, the way it comes all smushed in the bag with all your other supplies that you bring home. So I think this is the last piece that I cut out, and I end up cutting off one of the nice evergreen pieces. So I'll just put that back in here in a minute. And I pick it up to kind of look at it, and I just put some glue on the end of that and put that in somewhere, and then we'll move on to the next part. Now we're going to get our sign prepped, and first we're going to take off this little rope. I'm going to get 2 pipe cleaners out, have my glue gun ready, and some heavy cardboard. And I cut about a 1-inch wide strip, put some hot glue down, put my pipe cleaner down, and some glue on the edges of those cardboard pieces, and that helps to hold my pipe cleaner in place. Then we're going to set this off to the side while we work on the next part. So while that's cooling down, we're going to get our candy and our Christmas trees ready. Take off the tags, and we're going to pull the Christmas trees off of the main stem. Set that main stem aside and kind of fold that in half and twist it around itself, and that I'm leaving those about 1.5 to 2 inches long. Then on the candies, I'm going to end up cutting those down, and I should have taken the red ribbon off, but I didn't. It ends up being kind of a problem. So we're going to put our sign on now, and we're just going to get this put around the inner ring. There's 2 rings on this evergreen base, and you get your pipe cleaners in there and work it around to the back and then twist them together. Here you can see a little bit better. I will go back later and cut off any excess pipe cleaner. So now we're going to work on our bow, and our bow, we're going to start with this 3-inch red ribbon. And in the video, it kind of looks plasticky, but it's not a plastic ribbon. It's actually a pretty nice red, kind of a silky look. I think that's why it looks like it's plastic. And we're just going to do 1 loop on each side, making sure to twist our ribbon in between each loop, cutting it off, and then I fold this over and glue it, and make sure to cut off any of the wire, because this has a pretty stiff wire in it, and it will hold its shape really well. So next we're going to do our red ribbon with the green stripes. And I'm going to get our tail in here, and then we're going to do 2 loops on each side, slightly smaller than the original loops, making sure to twist between each loop, and then get the second tail in there. Next, we're going to use our candy ribbon, and we're going to repeat the same thing. Get our right tail. We're going to do 2 loops, making sure to twist between each loop. And because this is the end of the roll, it takes a little bit of extra straightening to get everything in its place. And the last one we're going to put on here is this green velvet 1-inch ribbon. We're just going to do 1 loop on each side, get that tail, and then I'm going to take a zip tie and get a zip tie wrapped around there and lightly tightened, pull it off, twist that zip tie around, put the pipe cleaner in, pull it tight, and trim off that tail. So now we're going to try and figure out where we want to put this bow. Sometimes it takes a time or two to try. You put it in one place and you decide, no, I don't want to put it there because the tails are going to get in the way. So I take it off and I decide I'm going to put it on the bottom underneath the sign, as long as it's not going to cover our sign too much. So we're kind of fluffing everything and making sure we like this, get everything where we want it to be. Then we're going to take care of our tails, getting them trimmed and dovetailed. And dovetailing, you just fold it in half and cut it upwards, kind of fold it like a taco. And that dovetailing kind of gives it a finished look. So here is our bow already done. I am liking it so far. So the next part, we're going to use 2 very similar ribbons. We have the red with the green glitter swirl and then a different candy ribbon, because we used the remainder of those 2 rolls on the other ones, and I'm going to put them on my other bowl holder and dovetail the ends, and I leave about 2 or 3 inches of a tail, and I'm going to stack the red and green, the candy, and the green one together. I'm just getting those tails finished up. I'm going to pinch that off, and I'm going to do half a pipe cleaner to hold that together initially, and then we're going to get this in underneath the bow off to the side. Get that attached around one of the pine pieces, and I'm going to pinch it together and put it between 2 pine pieces and twist the pine pieces like you would a pipe cleaner. And I'm going to repeat that process 6 different times, trying to make my loops or my bubbles approximately the same. I am not measuring this. I'm just eyeballing it. And we're just kind of pulling the ribbons apart once we get them attached to the spot they're going to go. And we want to make sure we have 6 different loops so we have spots to put our candies and our Christmas trees. And this is a simple way to get your ribbon throughout your wreath. And if you're liking this, if you wouldn't please doing all the things, commenting and subscribing and sharing, I would sure appreciate it. It helps a crafter out. Thank you. So we have that all done. And now we're going to kind of place our Christmas trees and our candies in just to make sure we like where we're putting them. And then we'll go back and glue them in. and I'm liking the way that that's looking. So I'm doing glue off to the side so I don't drip it all over the finished wreath, because it is kind of dripping all over the place. So I pick up one piece at a time and get some glue on the stem and put it back in place. And I'm liking the way this is turning out. The colors are coordinating together, and with the sign and with the gnomes, you probably can't see that the gnomes are holding candies. So I decide that I have a whole bunch of this white kind of snowy branches in my stash, and I decide to pull a big stem of that and cut it apart. And I think we can add this to our evergreen. I probably should have added this before we put this ribbon on, but hey, sometimes you don't think of something until after you get it put together. So I'm going to alternate a bigger piece and a smaller piece, and I'm going to go all the way around the outside using the bigger pieces alternating with the smaller pieces. And I am cutting down the bigger pieces just a little bit to get them in there. Right now I'm not going to glue it. I'm going to go back and glue it off camera. So I'm going to get everything in place, hang it up, and make sure that I like the way it's looking. And I thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. Again, if you wouldn't mind doing all those things, the subscribing, the liking, the sharing, and the commenting. So we get this all in, and here's the finished product. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much.